presentations part of our agenda. Our first presentation is the Cary 150 History Moment, and I'll now turn it over to Council Member Yerha.
Thank you very much, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Yerha.
I haven't said anything yet.
I'm just so excited about what you're going to say.
Can't wait. But tonight's topic is Let's Celebrate. So that's appropriate. Since we're celebrating Cary's 150th birthday this year, we thought we might look back at some of Cary's celebrations and festivals throughout the years. And I figure we'll start with Cary's centennial. While we're celebrating Cary's sesquicentennial this year, turning 100 years old in 1971 was reason enough for the biggest celebration in Cary's history. Warm-up activities included the creation of a centennial seal and a plate, striking of souvenir coins, caravans to neighboring towns, and the printing of a centennial book. The climatic week itself, which was May 8th through 12th, 1971, began with an hour-and-a-half parade and featured a pageant every night. Other activities included a ball with singing and dancing, a tea party, and even a beard-growing contest. That's not Jack Smith again up there, is it? He gets into each of these presentations. I don't understand it. But one legacy of the centennial is the soggy saga of the time capsule. It was buried on May 12, 1971, in front of Cary's then new federal building at 205 South Academy. The capsule contained documents and mementos pertaining to the big celebration. But after the federal building had sat vacant for several years, town officials decided in January of 1984 to move the capsule to a safer site by the flagpole just outside these chamber doors. But to their horror, they discovered that their 100-year time capsule had become thoroughly waterlogged after only 13 years.
Oh, no.
Part of the contents were salvaged and placed in a hermetically sealed vault. The materials were then lowered into the earth once more to be opened 50 years from now on the 200th anniversary. But let's hope that history in this case does not repeat itself. Of course, Cary's most popular festival is the Lazy Days Art and Crafts Festival, which will celebrate its 45th anniversary on this August 28th and 29th. Lazy Days is the brainchild of Jerry Miller. Miller, a beloved Cary resident and renowned artist, suggested an arts and crafts festival when the Southern National Bank opened in Cary and sought an event to sponsor. Things like golf tournaments and tennis matches were also suggested, but an arts and crafts festival prevailed because Miller said Cary had what it took to make one go. And he correctly assumed that people with new homes would buy wares sold at such a festival, and if Cary had anything at that time, it was new homes. In addition to the artisans and the refreshment vendors, the performers at Lazy Days have always drawn large crowds too. At the first Lazy Days, 40 musicians and 20 dancers with a little German band, dressed in hats, lederhosen, and bright checked aprons, performed German folk music. They danced traditional ways, and they even chopped wood to the beat. Square dancers, vocalists, cloggers, bluegrass players also graced the flatbed stage. While the first Lazy Days was truly a sight to behold, Miller, ever the perfectionist, promised that next year it'll be even better. And he certainly delivered on that promise. Because over the last 4.5 decades, Lazy Days has blossomed into a now 2-day event that features over 300 artists and attracts about 50,000 people. Thanks to the success and growth of Lazy Days, the town established Spring Days in 1994 to be a smaller, more relaxed version of the Arts and Crafts Festival. Of course, Spring Days proved a dazzling success, which is due in part to the cooler weather, I imagine, but also the hundreds of artisans who sell their handmade and locally oriented jewelry, clothing, and decorative wares. Lazy Days, however, is far from Cary's oldest festival. 84 years ago, in 1937, a group of Cary women formed a club called the Gourd Gardeners. The following year, in the home ec department of Cary High School, now the Cary Arts Center, these women exhibited a dazzling array, as you can see here, of lamps, baskets, doorstops, charm rings, birdhouses, toys, and other crafts, all made from, you guessed it, the gourds that they had grown. Hosted in Cary from that day in 1938 right through 1999, the Cary Gourd Festival still holds the title of Cary's longest-running annual celebration. In fact, gourds were Cary's first claim to fame. Emboldened by the overwhelmingly positive response to the first Gourd Festival, the gourd gardeners shipped a large package of their best gourds to a festival in California, and lo and behold, Cary took the gold ribbon. And soon afterwards, the club adopted the name Gourd Village Garden Club, and Cary became known as, yes, the gourd capital of the world. The world. In 1964, when the Chamber of Commerce sponsored a contest to design an official town seal, the winner, Marion Doherty, decorated the border of her entry with drawings of gourds. And at the bottom of the seal, she placed the words, Gourd Capital of the World. You can see that on the left. Although the basic design has remained intact, subsequent town leaders have altered the seal. The biggest change occurred during the administration of Mayor Bond, when the seal was degorded. The words Gourd Capital of the World were removed, and the gourd drawings were turned into decorative little curlicues. And the Gourd Village Garden Club was turned into the North Carolina Gourd Society, who since the year 2000 have been exhibiting their gourds at the state fairgrounds. If you'd like to attend this year's festival, I'm sure some of you will, it's on November 6th and 7th. In one form or another, people have risked their lives fighting fires in Cary, long before Cary was even Cary. And on May 2nd, 1953, our town rightfully honored their heroic efforts with the first annual Firemen's Day Parade. While our first responders are always worth celebrating, the parade was prompted by the purchase of a shiny new fire truck, a brand new 202 horsepower, 12-cylinder Seagrave pumper. 5,000 people lined the mile-long parade route to watch the truck roll into town. It was accompanied by other fire trucks from neighboring communities, numerous floats, and a tiny racing car, you can see that in the picture on the right, which was pulling an even tinier fire truck. The large new fire truck was presented to Cary's mayor, Waldo Rood, by Tom Stewart of the Seagrave Company at a ceremony in front of Cary High School. Stewart, who spoke briefly to the crowd, saw the occasion as the greatest manifestation of civic and community pride he had witnessed in his 50 years of selling firefighting equipment. How do you like that? Mayor Rood lauded the town's volunteer fire department and their chief, James Pete Murdoch, thanked the townspeople for their generous donations toward the purchase of this truck, because the truck cost a whopping $15,000. And obviously, much has changed since 1953. Our community has grown larger and more diverse, adding significantly to our number of reasons to host festivals, parades, holidays, and celebrations of all kinds. Just a few examples are pictured here. In 1995, Cary started partnering with the Ujima Group to celebrate Kwanzaa. In 2001, we formed a similar partnership with HumSub for Diwali. And in 2005, we also started partnering with Diamante Incorporated to celebrate events related to the Latinx community, such as the Ritmo Latino Festival and the Three Kings Day Parade. And now I invite you all to be part of history this Saturday and next, July 24th and July 31st, by celebrating Cary's 150th birthday downtown from approximately 4 o'clock in the afternoon to 10 o'clock in the evening. There'll be entertainment, games, food, and after dusk, a projection light show on the face of the Cary Art Center. You don't want to miss this. And don't forget, in the meantime, to visit www.cary150.org for more sesquicentennial activities and events. And one of those is the Sesquicentennial Sweets Bingo. Visit a local sweet shop or bakery, maybe perhaps taste a special treat, and then pick up a bingo card. You can print one off the website also, by the way, and you might win a prize. That can be fun. But for now, thanks to those who contributed to this presentation. There'd be no history moment without Matthew Champagne and Ginny Johnson, so I thank them very much. And I thank you all for listening, and that's it for tonight.
Thank you, Ed. That was a good report.